Okay. I hope I'm live. I don't know if I'm live. Um, but if I am live, hello everybody. Welcome back to the show. I just spent an ungodly amount of time figuring out how to set up my phone as a webcam. I hope it looks better than my computer's webcam for the one person maybe that's seen it before. I'm gonna drink some water before we get started. Oh shit, I need to change the title. Fuck. Okay, one sec. Oh no. Femboy destroy Boys Ben Shapiro live. Alright, fuck. Upload thumbnail. Okay. Wait, I haven't downloaded the thumbnail yet. Oopsie. Yeah, as you guys can tell, I'm really smart. I, know what I'm doing, okay? I swear. Oh, stop. I hate using a trackpad, but I had to move my laptop so it's in a position where I can fucking see it. Download. Okay, now I can... Jeez. Okay. Save. Okay, sorry guys, I'm a professional streamer, okay? I'm a professional streamer, yeah. Femboy destroys, Ben Shabusi. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm gonna destroy Ben Shapiro's, little bussy, okay? I know it's tight as hell. I know for a fact. So yeah, this is the new streaming setup, I guess. So yeah, this is a thing. I hope it's not too shit, because if it is, well, sucks to be you if you don't like it, because this is the way it's gonna be. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Well, without further ado, oh, I need to make my, oops. I need to make myself in the corner of the screen, okay? Okay. Wait, what? No, I just made the window in the wrong... Okay. What I meant to do is I meant to put this video in the corner of the screen. Okay? Yup. This looks good. I'll move it over to the other side. Yeah, that's probably good. That looks about right. Yeah, and I can see chat. Okay. His wife doesn't have a wet-ass P-word. Because he's the one who's got it. Hell yeah, dude. I love how immediately my first instinct is to say, when I'm thinking about Ben Shapiro and I think about wet ass pussy, I just think wet ass P word. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be subjecting myself to Ben Shitpiro's content. That's what I like to call him, because his content is dog shit. Yeah, so without further ado, but slightly more further ado, because I need to move this over here, because I'm a professional streamer, I swear. I'm good at streaming and stuff. Yeah, I'm like the best streamer, I'll have you find. So, oh, I just realized I'm gonna be pausing the video a lot, so I'm gonna need to plug in a... Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't worry. It's coming together. Okay. Hello, you gonna... Yes, thank you for turning on. Kind of. Okay. And then I can I can pause, and I can unpause. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna be bad at reading chat today. So the first video... Shut up, ad. Okay.
Hey, you use Lyric Studio to help you write better lyrics.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. All right, man, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, meanwhile, I have to give you the dumbest and most hilarious story of the day. I do love this story.
Oh no! Is it working? It just, like, disconnected and reconnected. I hope it's working. Okay, it looks like it's working. I'm scared. Okay, it's still streaming. It's still streaming, okay. I don't know what the fuck. You know what? I'm a professional streamer, okay? So the first video we're gonna be watching from none other than Shapiro, as I like to call him, because he's shit, is so you can choose your gender, but not your race. Oh, I can tell this is gonna be a good one. Alright, let's see what Benny Boy has to say. Let me know if the audio is, like, bad. I'm not gonna be able to read chat for a bit, because I only have one monitor.
According to the UK Daily Mail, photos obtained by the Daily Mail show how a person named Kay LeClaire was able to transform herself over the course of just 2 years from a white college student to an indigenous two-spirit, fooling even some in the Native American community.
What? Okay. You know what? We'll just keep watching.
LeClaire identified themselves on Facebook as a white woman in July 2017 as they spoke of they nuptials with Adam Pagenkopf the following summer.
What is happening?
But by 2019, they publicly identified as a Native American two-spirit, which is a term many indigenous people use to describe a non-binary gender identity. Now, I do have to point out here that not only is this absurd and silly on its face, it is hysterical that the media has to continue calling this obviously female person a they.
Wait, hold on a minute. This person is identifying as transracial. And you're worried about the fact that they use they/them pronouns. Come on. Get your fucking priorities straight, man. I know that's like... I know he's doing it on purpose, but because he's a grifter, and he doesn't actually believe in anything. He just wants money, but still. Like, come on. Use your fucking head. Hello, play, please.
I can also point out they're not Native Americans. If a person says, I'm a Native American two-spirit and I wish to be called they, instead of everybody just saying, we're not going to pay attention to any of that, we're just going to call you a white lady because you're a white lady. Instead, the media is like, no, we will call you they. We're just going to draw the line at saying that you're indigenous.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because transracial isn't a thing. But being transgender or transsexual is a thing. That's something people actually do, because of this thing called gender dysphoria. And then, obviously, once you get past the binary trans people, you have the non-binary trans people, and then you also have people that are just gender non-conforming. It becomes a whole complicated mess. I can't lie. So I can understand why, like, any, like, normie, like, outside perspective would be all confused by all the non-binary shit, because even I'm fucking confused by it sometimes. But at the end of the day, my philosophy is just respect people, like, within reason, I guess. I mean, if you want to identify as indigenous, you know, I don't even know if I care that much. Like, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of dumb, I guess, but you do you, I guess. I mean, that is, now that I think of it, that would be my default response, is okay, yeah, that's it's pretty cool, bro. So anyways, the weather do be nice, huh? I don't know. Maybe I just don't give a shit when I'm supposed to. Maybe I need to be, like, super offended, but it's like, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Woo, spooky. I don't care. Okay. It doesn't affect me.
The good news for Kay LeClaire is that eventually she'll end up presumably being a senator from Massachusetts. That's the way this works. If you pretend to be Native American, then you can run for president eventually. LeClaire even went...
What? Wait. I thought you said that the media was against the Native American part, or the pretending to be... Well, he just said that the media was against that. And now he's saying, oh, but now that's like a popular thing. So what is it? Okay, we'll just keep watching, I guess.
On to co-found a queer indigenous artists collective in Wisconsin and started buying Native American art from Etsy, which they would pass off as their own and sell to unsuspecting buyers. Man,
Okay, yeah, that's
wokeness,
shitty.
They say go woke, go broke, but the truth is that if you're talking about catering to a particularly stupid crowd, go woke, make a little bit of money.
Okay, I don't think that has anything to do with being woke. I mean, the word, I guess then again, the word woke means absolutely fuck all at this point. Okay. Please tell me it's still streaming. Okay, I think it is. Anyways, yeah, I don't really understand the, just find a better word at this point. Woke means fucking nothing now. Like, why is this a thing that people are still trying to push on the right? It's like, oh yeah, all the woke people are bad, and it's like, well, does woke just mean like kind of gay? Does it mean like far left, like extremist? Like what does it even mean at this point? Does it mean like pedophile? Like what the fuck does woke even mean anymore? There's no, it's and I would say the word groomer is going in a similar direction. It doesn't mean shit anymore, because it's like, oh, you're gay or trans. Oh, well, that means you're trying to trans the kids, which means you're a groomer, and I think that all groomers should die, even though, but I'm fine with, like, like trans people or whatever, but, like, I think we should kill all groomers. Also, by the way, just so you know that, trans people are groomers. Nothing against them, nothing against trans people themselves, but, I'd say, like 99.9% of them are groomers, so, I'm just saying, like, it's that kind of bullshit, where it's like, you basically take away the actual meaning of the word. It's kind of sad. Whatever, I guess. I don't know why they do that.
Go woke, claim victimhood.
Well, I do.
You do okay. It used to be, in the more racist days of the United States, that people, in order to escape the evils of racism, would sometimes attempt to pass as members of the white race. Right? And that was an indicator of the evils of America's racial caste system.
Okay.
And there's a real thing that used to happen. Now you have white people attempting to pass themselves off as members of minorities, which should tell you something about the social...
No. There aren't nearly as many, and they're not doing it because, like, they're being oppressed as white people. Like, that's not a fucking thing. I'm not gonna say that there's 0 instances in which, oh, yeah, it's, like, never gonna be a disadvantage. Okay, obviously, there's some things like, okay, maybe you could complain about, like, affirmative action or whatever. Not sure how I feel about that. Like, personally, I'm not gonna get into it, but, like, I could see, okay, maybe you want to, like, maybe that's why, but ultimately, I don't think that that's, like, worth it. I don't really, I think it's just, like, a few, like, people being weird, or, like, maybe they're, like, a little bit, like, too obsessed with certain types of cultures. I don't think it has anything to do with, like, trying to get, like, brownie points for being a minority. So, yeah, whatever. Like, if you want that, then just, I don't know.
Social
like,
circumstances surrounding race in the United States right now. You don't see a lot of black Americans attempting to pass themselves off as white, but you do see a lot of white Americans attempting to pass themselves off as members of minorities to thereby gain victimhood status.
You see it? No, you don't see a lot of either. Actually, speaking of, oh wait, no, okay, no, I'm thinking of something else, never mind. Damn. I almost had a good point, but then I realized that was a completely, you know what, never mind, we'll keep watching. Wi-Fi be like,
Status
bruh.
in the new racial hierarchy of intersectionality. Some in the Native community have now said they had their suspicions about LeClaire, who went from a light-haired brunette to a tan woman with dark hair over the course of just a few years.
Oh god,
LeClaire
the
was
horror.
ultimately forced to step down from their community positions last month, after it came to light that they were actually a pretendian, a term natives use for people who pretend to have indigenous lineage.
Okay. Cool, I guess. Is it bad that I don't care? Like, this is just like a giant, like, fucking nothing burger. Like, seriously. This is what people are crying about? Oh, wow, there's this one niche case of somebody who was born white that says they're Native American. Oh, no, the world is going to explode because of this one, like, single person. It's a completely huge issue that needs to be talked about because it's affecting so many people. This like one weird person. Oh God, this is gonna. I mean, you know, if one person starts doing it, then like a million people are gonna do it. I mean, come on.
For their false claims, as profiting off a false Native American identity is a federal crime. By the way, that's kind of fascinating. That if you profit off a false
I did not know that.
That's somehow a federal crime. But if you profit off another false identity, like saying pretending you're a man or a
well, you see, the difference there is gender identity is not the same as, I don't know, race. Okay, race is not race is not a gender identity. I think maybe Ben Shapiro is thinking of sex. Because, like, I guess you can't... I mean, you can sort of change... I mean, you can change some parts of your sex. It gets very confusing, because it's like, well, you can't change your sex unless you, unless you're, like, going through, like, fucking... Hold on, drink water. Well, this thing fucking doesn't work. Hello, camera. Oh, no. Camera disconnected. Is the stream not working? Oh, God. What is going on here? Ugh. This is so annoying. What the fuck? You know what? Whatever. Bitch, excuse me. Oh, it's just not plugged in all the way. I'm gonna try turning it off and on again. There we go. Okay. Yay, we got it back. Oh yeah. Let's go. Where was I? Anyways, I think what I was saying was something along the lines of, oh yeah, yeah, it gets very confusing very fast because, like, once you have, like, the hormones and, like, the surgeries, it's like, well, let's say I decide, you know what, I'm not a femboy anymore, I'm actually a trans woman, and then I go on HRT, for a few years, or for the rest of my life, I guess, and then I get bottom surgery, and I grow big mommy milkers, well, at that point, am I still biologically a male? Am I still of the male sex? Because at that point, because you're altering, because that's literally what that is. That's what that procedure does. That's what hormones do. Is they do alter your sex to an extent. So I don't think that it's fair to say, because gender at the end of the day is just the identity portion of it. And then there's gender expression, which is just like, how do you express yourself? It gets the water gets very muddy very quickly. So I can understand why there's some confusion, but I don't think that Ben Shapiro is confused. I think he's just a fucking grifter. He doesn't have good intentions.
Spirit, or you're a man, you pretend you're a woman. That's not a federal crime. Advanced Smite, a hobbyist genealogist, has laid out how Leclerc has claimed to have Meti Oneda, Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee,
love the pronunciation,
and Jewish heritage. And a little bit of Jewish at the end, just for the fun of it. The anonymous genealogist told Madison 365 they first became aware of Leclerc through a Facebook ad for the upcoming talk on indigenous...
See, but that's the thing, is there's a difference between gender identity and heritage. Heritage implies, yes, these are my ancestors. These are the people that gave birth to me, and the people who gave birth to the people that gave birth to me, and then it keeps going on. That's what heritage is. Gender identity is not the same as heritage. It doesn't matter who who you're born, like who your ancestors are has no bearing on your gender whatsoever. So this is a completely false equivalency. So thank you for proving my point, Ben. I appreciate it. Making my job a whole lot easier. Holy fuck, he's stupid.
Is feminism. It identified LeClaire under her native name, Nibiwakamigkwi, which advanced that they found unusual because given the Ojibwe name is typically something that would be just used in ceremony or with other people who are Ojibwe or a part of your community. It's weird that you're publicly using it.
I mean, you could say it's weird. I mean, using the name in of itself, I don't really care. It's like, oh, whatever, this is a weird person doing weird things. Oh no. We're gonna die now.
Advanced Might, who is also of indigenous heritage, conducted some research and found that while LeClaire is a common Native American last name, there were social media posts in which they identified as Anishinaabe. The genealogists then discovered that LeClaire had previously claimed to be Cuban.
Okay, but these are claims that are objectively untrue. The different, again, identifying as Cuban and saying, oh yeah, my parents are from Cuba, or their parents or grandparents or great-grandparents or whatever are from Cuba. That's an objectively true or false statement. It's not like gender where there's like some amount of gray area. And for anyone that thinks that sex and gender are the same thing, what gender are intersex people? Are they non-binary? Does that mean that there's 3 genders, no more, no less? Because I mean, yeah, sex is bimodal, so it's not binary, it's bimodal. So I'm sorry. Guess it sucks to be conservative. I mean, so is gender, honestly. It's also bimodal. So wow. Not for the same reasons. It's not always going to be the same people, but it's just interesting to point out.
So this person seems to be some sort of sociopath seeking to take advantage.
Well, hold on, Ben. Just calm the fuck down. You're not their psychiatrist or psychologist. You don't work in that field, okay? You can't just go around diagnosing people as sociopaths. That's a fucking sociopathic thing for you to do, okay? You can say, oh, that's like weird and kind of shady, and maybe you're a little bit of a shitty person if you're like profiting off of it because you're a grifter, let's say. But of course Ben isn't going to say that because then it might make him a little bit self-conscious now, wouldn't it? Man.
Advantage of the woke status in modern America. This is bizarre. It's bizarre stuff. And again, says less about this human being, because there are lots of crazy people in the United States, and much more about...
Yeah, but I don't think that's not like a trans issue. Crazy people existing has always been a thing that has nothing to do with trans people. It's like, oh, yeah, occasionally there's weird people that do weird things. Sometimes there's even crazy people who do even weirder things. This is not a new phenomenon, and it has nothing to do with trans people. So what does this have to do with gender identity? He hasn't even properly addressed the point. This makes me want to die.
Incentive structure in the United States right now. The supply of racism does not meet the demand for racism. And so people are now...
What? The supply for racism doesn't meet the demand for racism. Ah, yes, because everyone wants there to be more racism. We demand more racism! Fuck equality! Yeah, that's what everybody's been saying. Yeah, we demand more racism. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's... Sure. Whatever you say. What?
Now claiming to be members of minority race, minority status, just so that they can claim to be victims in American society.
Okay, is there maybe like 2 people that do that on like Twitter? Sure. But like, that's statistically fucking nothing, okay? I don't care that, like, there's, like, a small niche group of people on Twitter that want oppression points. That doesn't mean that everybody else is invalid. It just means, oh, here's a few crazy people. That sucks, I guess. And then we move on, and then hoo-ha, the whole world works. Or at least that's how it should be. But Ben seems to really care about this non-issue.
Totally wild. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into
God,
Walgreens
we're not going to want to miss
distributing
it.
The abortion pill. Plus, we have on an economist.
Oh, God, the horror. They're distributing the abortion pill. Oh, that's so bad. Because what we need is more teen pregnancies and less bodily autonomy. Because we got to protect the lives of non-sentient life forms within the first 17 weeks of a pregnancy. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it has been scientifically proven, and yes, I've done my research on this, that within, at the very least, the first 17 weeks of a pregnancy, the fetus is not sentient at all. It hasn't shown even its earliest signs of sentience. So there is literally no argument, aside from a shitty religious one, which doesn't count, because it's rooted in fiction. There is no argument for why it's bad within the first 17 weeks to get an abortion. Like, you have to be delusional to think it's bad. Then again, these people believe in a talking snake and a man who walked on water. So what do I know? Well, I guess Ben Shapiro doesn't believe in the man who walked on water. So he's getting there. But he's got a long way to go. He's got a long fucking way to go.
To discuss the problems with the interest rate in the United States and why stagflation looks like our future. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all
I don't
annual
think
plans.
I will.
Deal. Click the
Fuck
link in the
you.
description and join us.
Eat my fucking ass. No. Fuck you. I'd rather get 0 months free and just not use the code. So yeah, that was the first video. We're gonna read chat now. Oh boy, I'm so excited. See you later, people. We've got a... Okay, Okay, racial dysphoria can actually exist, but, but it's, like, rare in, instances of adoption, or, when you're biracial. Okay, that actually does make sense. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah, where did Ben Shapiro come from? That's the real question. Yeah, I don't know. He came from his mother's vagina. Unless his mom had a C-section. Maybe she did. I don't know. Shit, man. Okay, let's see. What else is there? What other videos that are shit does he have on there? Oh, God. Oh, God. This is boring. I don't care. I want to see more, like, here is what I actually think of Andrew Tate. Oh, this ought to be good. Oh, wait, actually, I kind of want to watch this instead. Let's see what he has to say about these, like, random TikTok people.
In just 36 weeks,
I'm gonna guess he's gonna say they're all
Institute
bad.
can train you for a career in welding. If you like the
I know he doesn't like TikTok, so, yeah.
How about another joke, Ray? What do you get when you cross a mentally ill donor with a society that abandons him?
We live in a society, guys.
I'll tell you what you got.
Okay, this edit is kind of good. Okay, I'll give him that.
It keeps happening!
Okay. The edit was kind of good. I'll
I
give
don't
him
know
that.
if I was clear the first time when I said it, so I'll be clear again this time.
Okay.
My gender is...
Real. My gender is also... I can't do the noise. How do you? I can't fucking do it. I'm sorry, guys. That was fucking cringe. Let's just keep going.
And my pronouns are.
I mean, okay.
Okay.
This is maybe the only time in human history where I will say I will use the alternative pronoun because it does seem as though you are a demon. Honestly, more of this.
Do you think that maybe perhaps that that person was being ironic? Perhaps do you think that maybe they weren't being like serious, and that maybe they were making a joke, or do you think that they were completely serious, Ben? I mean, come on, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious.
More of this in public society because I want to know who the insane people around me are. If I see a resume and it says Bob Smith, preferred pronouns, then I know who not to hire.
The way they
thank you
fucking
for
edited
selecting
that.
out of our employment pool. Thank you for that.
You think that?
Really
Yeah, it's not like a
appreciate it.
joke or anything. Yeah, no.
See from this
It's not like they
face,
were
the
joking.
crazy eyes are already here. All right.
Get angry!
I'd like to know the context.
Is atrocious! This is war on women! How fucking dare the Supreme Court do this shit? You, Kavanaugh!
Oh.
You, Gorsuch, for lying under oath when you were confirmed, saying that you believed that this was settled!
Okay, oh shit. Fucking, ugh. This fucking thing doesn't want to work. Okay, there we go. Anyways, I mean, this person might be, a little bit on the loud side. Maybe not very, like, calm and collected. I get it. Sometimes it's difficult to listen to an argument when somebody is, like, really angry and is yelling. But what this person is saying is I don't see an issue with it. Like, yeah, overturning Roe v. Wade is fucking stupid. It's like, yes, us as the Supreme Court justices would like to make the world an objectively worse place. How can we accomplish that? I mean, I know that's not exactly what they said, but functionally speaking, it may as well be. So I don't, again, but he's gonna be like, oh, crazy SJW woke
Women
libtard.
will die! But as long as it fits your Christian damn narrative, it must be correct! White women of privilege will still have access after their senators them!
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
No, she's right, though. That's the thing. What she's saying is true. What?
Poor working mothers will not! Young women who are victims of sexual assault will not!
Yeah, she's
Women
right.
who found out that their child is not viable in the third trimester will not!
Exactly, yeah.
That's what's gonna happen at
Yeah,
college,
she's right.
Because half you men prove that you don't know what an ectopic pregnancy is! How do I have less rights than my mother?
Well, you have less brain cells than your mother.
No, she's right, though. Maybe she didn't deliver it the best way, optically. I mean, I would say that video was a little bit of an optics L, but, like, I can understand why she was angry. I was kind of fucking pissed. It's like, oh, this could potentially mean in the future that, like, like, hypothetically, if I were to, be a woman's subby little boy wife, right? And then, hypothetically, we were to have sex in which the penis gets inserted into the vagina. I mean, no, the P word gets inserted to the V word. And then, in this hypothetical abstract situation, my girlfriend would, actually be getting pregnant. Now, the reason this would hypothetically affect me is because, hypothetically, if that were to occur, I would hypothetically be forced to be a father. So this isn't something that just affects women. No. You may think it is, but do you want to have to pay child support for the rest of your life? Do you want to be forced to be a father? No? Well, shit. Maybe it's time to start caring about an issue like that. I'm just saying. I don't want to fucking pay child support. You kidding me? Fuck that. I don't want to be a father. Fuck that.
Or fewer, rather.
My pronouns are a little bit too complicated to fit in my bio, so I was just going to leave them out, but I've decided to make a video
good.
about it. Pronouns that I use are they, them, she, her, and clown, self.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if it was just clown self, but like, they're giving you multiple options. What is the problem, Ben? Why do you have a problem with this? You have the option to just use like normal pronouns. Oh my god, this thing is so annoying. It keeps fucking disconnecting. Ugh.
Okay.
I prefer a mixture of those, but I do know that some people have a really hard time mixing different pronouns together, and if that is something you really struggle with, I would prefer that you not exclusively use she, her. If you're only going to use one pronoun set for me, use they, them, or clown, self.
Yeah, what is the issue with that? Like, I mean, they're being really understanding that, like, that could be confusing. They're stating their preferences. Oh my god, this thing is being annoying. Fucking hate this. Keeps plugging and unplugging. Oh my god. Where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, this person seems very understanding to people, like, even, like, not necessarily Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro just is a shitty person, but, like, I swear to fucking god. You know what? Let's try a different... You know what? Maybe I just need to try turning it off and on again. Oh, well, it seemed to work that time, I guess, kind of. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna fucking rage. I'm raging. I'm gonna soy out, guys. Shit. This is fucking making me angry, okay? I'm gonna get angry. Uh-oh. That's not good. You don't like it when I'm angry. Yeah. Alright, we'll just unplug this and then replace it with this. How about that? Is that gonna work? Alright, let's go. It probably works the entire time, I'll bet. Yeah, I don't see what the issue is. It's like, I'm gonna guess Ben Shapiro is gonna be like, why would you use the pronouns clown, self? Isn't that just so silly, guys? I wouldn't do that personally. And this is a mentally insane person. I don't know, he's gonna say something to that effect. Or be like, yeah, I mean, you are a clown, huh? Get it? Cause, like, yeah, cause it's, like, a bad thing, maybe? I don't know. He's gonna do one of the things. Let's see. I mean, he's fucking predictable.
I don't want to be called she, her alone. However, I really prefer a mixture of all three. And please do not use he, him pronouns for me.
Oh, God forbid.
Ever. I don't like them. They make me dysphoric.
This is the only time in human history where I will acquiesce to using someone's preferred pronouns. This person, indeed, deserves to be called by clown self.
Okay, I got that right. I knew he was either going to make a joke about that, or he was going to be like, wow, that person is mentally insane. It was going to be one of the two, so.
That is an accurate description.
Okay.
So, I'm not allowed to be out as trans non-binary at school. Do not come up in my comments saying that I am allowed, because I'm not. I live in Louisiana and it sucks here.
Okay.
So, of course, my response to this is to be as obnoxiously queer as possible.
Based!
Rainbow hair.
Based!
Got my rainbow
That's so
glasses.
based! Holy
Sometimes I wear
shit!
pins
Wait,
to
who is this
various
person? I want to follow them.
things on
Holy
them. I don't
fuck.
have any today. I just have my COVID sticker.
Based!
That do not match at all. Basically,
I love that. I love that.
A unicorn threw me up.
Oh
If
my
I can't do
god.
that, what's the point? But the best part about all of this is that all of my coworkers are like, oh my gosh, you're so hip and you're so cool and the kids love you. I'm like, no, I'm not hip or cool. I'm just queer as hell and y'all are boring.
This is a deeply unhappy human. I just want to go
What do you mean?
This video. One, she can't come out to her students at school, but she can dress like a queer unicorn at the school. So
Okay. Yeah, maybe that is how I don't know how fucking Louisiana works. Yeah, that actually could be how it works. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on it. because maybe that's not how Louisiana works. Who fucking knows?
I feel like the school is a little inconsistent in their application of their rules.
Correct.
Also, why would her fellow teachers think that she was cool and hip?
Because she's cool and hip? I don't know. Because people like her? Or like them? Wait, what? I don't know if there was... Or were they non-binary? I don't remember. I hate when people, like, make it impossible to, like, know what, like, people's actual, like, not know, but, like, it really... People like Ben make it so fucking confusing when it doesn't have to be. Because he just misgenders everybody that... So it's like, I don't know if this is, like, a woman or, like, a non-binary person, because I kind of, like, forgot, because I have terrible attention span, and then it's like, oh, and then if Ben uses she, her pronouns, then, like, I'm gonna subconsciously start doing it. It's a whole... Oh, my God. Because if it's done over and over again, then it's like, my brain is like, well, it must be a woman, and that uses she, her.
From this vibe. I mean, call me an old fuddy-duddy.
Did anyone ever tell you you're kind of a sexy fuddy-duddy?
But it does, in fact, look like a unicorn threw this person up.
I have a serious question, okay? What about this outfit and this person screams woman? How do I keep getting this gender?
Well, there are only a couple categories here, so...
Well, I think what Ben is gonna do is he's not gonna realize that, like, this, like, that it was, like, played up for, like, entertainment. He's gonna be like, oh my God, you're overreacting. And it's like, yeah, no shit, that's the fucking point. That's called being an entertainer. Not that you would know, Ben, because you're the least entertaining motherfucker on the planet. Okay, your editing team is kind of good. I'll give you that. You've got a decent editing team sometimes. Sometimes they're kind of cringe, though.
What this outfit mostly says, and your behavior mostly says, is crazy woman. That's what it mostly says to me, and I feel like...
No, it just seems like a... I mean, I'm assuming that this is a trans dude. Or, like, a non-binary person, so, like... I don't... Like, what about that? Like, what is the issue? Like... Okay? What? Why does he have a problem? Because the person was being dramatic?
I'm on fairly solid ground here. Since you literally set up a camera in your room so you could scream into it in rage.
Yeah, that's called being entertaining. Not that you would know, Ben, because you only have one speech pattern, which is, hypothetically, if I were to insert my P word into a woman's wet-ass P word, hypothetically, if that woman were to then get pregnant, I would not want her to get an abortion in that hypothetical... What fucking... Okay, you know, like, come on. Dude sounds more fucking robotic than me when I'm going on an autistic rant about something.
This lady looks like she went rummaging in a 1980s...
Well, they're not a lady, so...
Salvation Army, and came up with a man's outfit as seen through the mind of a crazy person.
Or that's just the aesthetic that they like.
Hey y'all, so I just got my uterus back.
Okay.
And it looks so freaking cool. Trigger warning, this is an organ, and it is a wet specimen, and it is my uterus, plus the tubes as well. So, ready for the reveal?
Oh my God.
This is my uterus. She scrubbed off all the blood. That is my cervix. That's what a cervix looks like, y'all.
Jesus.
And these little strings right here are my fallopian tubes.
Holy shit. Uterus. Okay, I'm...
Compared to my head.
Okay, I have the same reaction as Ben Shapiro, kind of.
You hear that sound?
Shut up, ad.
That's the sound of me being high. You can't tell.
Right, it looks like it says cummies. It says cummies. Oh my God, cummies equals hearts.
This little thing causes so much problems for everybody. And I also got a LED plug-in LED stand with it, so it lights up different color and spins while it displays it, which is so cool.
I think I'm gonna vomit.
I mean, personally, I have a strong stomach, so, like, that doesn't bother me, but, like, that is funny as hell. It is a bit weird, but, I respect that. That's so fucking funny. Oh my god. That's actually funny as hell. Bro, I respect that dude. Elon
What
Musk.
is going on? What are you?
I'm so excited. I finally got my shirt.
Okay, this is obviously a troll, but this is funny as hell.
How long is this video on?
Bro, he's just reacting to like based people that are like either trolling or like have like valid points.
Why, God? Why?
What? This is his reaction? Wait, I've seen this clip. I've seen that
His
clip.
parents must be so proud. Oh,
If I was his parents, I would be proud, okay? Like, I mean, I might be a little bit biased. Cause, you know, like, oh shit, I almost fell. Cause, like, you know, like, I'm, like, also kind of a femboy. Like, woohoo! Oh shit. Oh god. No. Yeah. Shit, man. It's not worth it. Too fucking dangerous. But even though I might be a little bit on the biased side, I would be fucking proud. And I know that anyone who's as based and red-pilled as I am would also be a proud father / mother / whatever, okay? That's all I'm gonna say, alright? That's all I'm gonna say. I know I would be proud.
This insane bullshit. Oh my god. Ugh, this is so stupid. I'm sorry, I cannot take anyone seriously on Judaism who dresses and does themselves up like this. I can't. I'm not gonna hear about Talmudic interpretation from a person who puts themselves out like this. Again, call me
you don't
judgmental,
have
but that's
to.
ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, cool. You don't...
Sexes, genders,
just don't watch it.
with many mentions. Let's get into what they are. There's Nakeva and Zakar, the two here as female and male. Androgynous for an intersex person with both female and male sex.
Okay, that's a bop.
Tum a person with obscured or unclear sexual characteristics. Halo needs someone assigned female at birth, but who expresses male characteristics later in life. Sorry, someone assigned male at birth, but develops female characteristics later in life and or has their sexual organs removed. Saris and Eloni often are described as infertile, and while life has lots of rules, don't let binaries be a hurdle to loving yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, this person. Wait, what? This person is based. What? What? Wait, what? Where's the joke or the funny? Where's the funny? Oh, that was a good video. What? Okay.
Yes, the Talmud describes people who are intersex, people who have sex characteristics that differ from their genetics. Like, sure. And also, these people all fall into the question of whether they are designed as male or female. That's the question in the Talmud.
No. What? Did we watch the same video? What?
How are these people treated? That all falls into the sex binary. There's no idea that a man who says that he is a woman is therefore treated as a woman by halakha. This does not exist. It doesn't exist.
It does not exist.
But did you not watch the video? What? Did I watch a different video? What? Huh? Did his editing team like troll him or something? Play like a different video? What is going on here? Okay, well the video is almost over anyway, so I'm gonna fucking I hate this. Okay. Now let's watch. Oh god, do I want to watch this? Fucking religious bullshit. Yeah, we're watching this, I'm sorry. Oh my, there's a fucking Daily Wire ad, of course. Oh god, I should not have watched these while logged in. Oh god, no! No! No, I hate you!
The Women's March.
Fuck you!
to this special
I should have signed out. Now I'm getting me recommended a bunch of Daily Wire shit.
Went through the
Oh, God.
C.S. Lewis. Fantastic investigation of the nature of evil and good, human frailty, and the power of God. Listen now as we chronicle the handful of different ways that C.S.
I'm
Lewis
so
depicted the
excited.
predations of our modern culture. There are a bunch of large-scale arguments that Lewis makes in Screwtape Letters. The first one is that Satan's best weapon is the quote-unquote real world. And this is right. I mean, if you talk to people who are secular, they'll always say that the spiritual world, God, is unreal. The real world.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that there's no God, but if there is, it's not the same as what's been depicted in the, like, fucking internally inconsistent pieces of literature. But, okay, whatever. Go on, Benny boy. Let's see what you have to say.
World is the material world. And then when you ask them about what's important to them, they'll talk about their feelings, which, of course, are inherently unreal.
What? Huh? I mean, yeah, like, my feelings are important. Why is that a bad thing? I mean, yeah, facts are important too. Logic is important. Like, you don't just have... Okay, I'm going to explain something that I think is very important. A lot of people have this very deep misconception of thinking that... I'm going to take my headphones off while I give this explanation, because it might be a long one. A lot of people have the misunderstanding of how good it is to be rationally minded. It's good to be rational at times, right? But if you are 100% rational and just completely disregard your own emotions, you'll quickly come to the rational conclusion that there is no logical reason for you to use your rationality because you don't benefit emotionally. If it doesn't change your emotional state because you don't care about your emotions, and your emotions are disregarded no matter what, well, then what is the fucking point? And it quickly goes into, like, this whole, like, nihilistic fucking bullshit. So, obviously, your feelings matter to an extent, because, like, those are typically the driving force that allow you to use rationality as a tool for whatever you want, right? So if you feel like you want to do good in the world, you will use your rational thinking skills as a means of doing that. However, if you only are able to think rationally and you have zero emotion, or you suppress all your emotions, well, then you're gonna have no logical reason or motivation to do anything. So I don't like the idea or, like, the notion that it's, like, bad to have emotions, because it's not. I used to kind of think it was. But, like, it's funny because despite what you might believe just by looking at me and, like, my physical appearance, naturally I'm a very repressive person. I've tried being more open lately. I've gone and sought therapy and whatnot. But when it comes to, like, my actual emotions, I'm very repressive. In fact, I unintentionally follow all of the shitty, not all of, but a lot of the shitty advice that people like fucking Andrew Tate suggest is good. Oh yeah, just don't feel anything, be stoic all the time, don't ever show your emotions. And it's like, oh, well, I already kind of taught myself to do that, sort of. But, like, does it get me anywhere? No. I mean, you could argue that, that I'm, like, doing it wrong or something, or not doing it enough, but the more I've done it, the worse I got. So, you know, again, it's good to be able to think logically, but if you have no logical reason to think logically, then you're just gonna fucking shut down and then not cry yourself to sleep if you're being repressive. If you're as repressive as me, like, you're not even physically capable of crying anymore. There are a few exceptions where I've convinced myself to be able to cry, but even when I want to, like, I literally cannot. Like, even when I'm by myself, like, I just can't. And no, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. I don't want that. It doesn't make me feel any better. It makes me feel worse being repressive. It makes me feel isolated. So if you disregard any and all things that are your feelings or like emotional, you're just gonna end up being a fucking like lonely ass bitch like me, okay? You're not gonna make it very far. So and obviously I have other like underlying issues, right? Like it's not just, oh, I'm repressive and that's like the one singular issue I've had in life. No, I have a multitude of issues, and some of those have caused me, at least I believe that they've caused me to become more repressive, emotionally reserved, very dichotomous in certain aspects, like, but also more nuanced than most people in others. So, for instance, a lot of people believe that the golden rule should like apply, treat others the way you want to be treated should be applied to everybody. No, that's fucking stupid, is my response. I treat others the way they treat me. So if you're really nice to me, I'm gonna try and be really nice back, because I value that. That's important to me. So if like I deem you to be a good person and I like you, and you like me, then I'm going to want to reinforce that. Whereas if somebody is a shitty person and I dislike them and they dislike me, well, okay, then yeah, I mean, I'm either going to be indifferent to them, or if I have to interact with them or feel like interacting with them, I'm obviously going to like be negative to them, right? Like, I might use them as like my personal punching bag. And I don't see an issue with that, because it's like, well, if you're a bad person, like let's say you're transphobic, or you cry about like femboys existing or whatever, then you deserve to get bullied. And it's like, well, I mean, you've made yourself the low-hanging fruit here, by being a hateful bitch. So it's like, but most people I don't think are like that. It's like, I think most people are either like fucking like nice to everybody, or like mean to everybody, or like kind of like in the middle to everybody. Obviously it's going to vary from person to person, but like, and obviously they're going to have some elements of what I have, but like not to the same extent, if that makes sense. Like, obviously this is going to apply to everybody at some point, because I think that it's like a natural thing, but it doesn't. But because I've created like a more nuanced like set of like values, morals, and philosophy for myself, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I would be mean to this shitty person, but being mean is bad, so I'm not going to be mean. It's like, well, no, they were mean first. So in the context, it's like, well, I treat them the way they treat me. That's why I know I'm going on a whole tangent here, but it's like, at the end of the day, if you are very mentally ill, you might end up becoming like what Andrew Tate would suggest is the ideal man. But at the end of the day, I think that that's just him being egotistical, because he's very mentally ill. And that's why he says that mental illness isn't real, is because he is one of the most mentally ill motherfuckers to step foot on this planet, and I think that rather than just like admitting, oh, I have like underlying issues here, he's like, no, what if I just like suppressed all my emotions, and like ignored my actual like underlying issues, and like you just didn't have emotions? That would be so much easier. And it's like, fine, that's really sad, whatever. The reason I take an issue with him doing this is because he promotes it as something that other people should do, which is dangerous. Maybe that's a little bit extreme, but I think you get the point that I'm going for. After this, I'm going to start reading chat, but you can leave messages right now, if you want, and I will go back to them.
In the same way the spiritual world is unreal. And this is a point that Lewis makes, is that...
Well, okay. Oh, and back to what he was saying. No, emotions are more real than the spiritual world, in terms of like how we're able to like measure them, right? Like we have things like PET scans. We know that it's like a bunch of like complicated chemical reactions that occur within our brains. So they are real. They're physically there. Like, so no, this is a moot point. Maybe there is a spiritual world, maybe there's not. We don't know. So to claim that there is or there isn't is fucking stupid. You could say, oh, there probably is or probably isn't, and it's like, well, you don't have much to base it off of, but still, you know.
Capacious and changing on a regular basis from secularists. So Lewis believes that man's draw to the divine can be rooted in reason, and that reason actually guides you towards something beyond yourself. It guards.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that thing beyond myself has to be religion. I think Einstein and his philosophy is a great example of what that actually would be like. Where, yeah, he went beyond himself by looking into the world and physics and looking at observing and testing the whole world around him, right? Things that are just beyond him internally, and his emotions. Like, he sought the truth. He wanted knowledge, and he did what it took to obtain said knowledge. He figured a lot of things out. But it wasn't through religion, it was through secular means. That's why he's a fucking genius, right? Because if he was like, well, the universe is like this because God, and that was the extent of his thought process, he wouldn't be like known and famous for being smart. But because that wasn't his mindset, and he was actually capable of this thing called critical thinking, which I know might be a completely foreign concept to you, Ben. You know, that's why he was fucking as successful as he was. It was because he was so such an unorthodox
It guides
Jew
you toward the transcendent. That's an idea that I obviously agree with. I believe that the notion of free will, free choice in the universe, guides you toward the idea of there must be something beyond us, that if there's a logic to the universe, that guides you to the question of who is the chief logician.
No, that is an assertion. I'm not going to say that there isn't, like, some guiding force, but, again, we don't know. And it's fine to admit when you don't know something. I think it goes to show your lack of intelligence when you claim to know more than you actually do. It's like you're compensating for something. Whereas if you just admit that you don't know something about the universe, then you're leaving room to figure out the actual truth in the future, which is a much smarter thing to do. That's why science constantly evolves, changes, gets better and more accurate with new models that predict things even more accurately than they did before. And that's why religion is stagnant, because it's not the same way. It doesn't question itself. It wants you to follow it like a cult. The only difference between religious institutions and cults is that religious institutions are more widespread and socially acceptable. That's literally the only difference. So yeah.
Who made the rules, for example. Lewis makes the same point, and then he says that the job of the secular materialist is to get you to focus on the thing. It's to get you to focus on the thing in itself. That's sort of the language of Bertrand Russell, famous atheist. And so Lewis says this: even if a particular train of thought can be twisted so as to end in our favor, this is as screw tape, you will find that you have been strengthening in your patient the fatal habit of attending to universal issues and withdrawing his attention from the stream of immediate sense experiences.
Okay.
Your business is to fix his attention on the stream. Teach him to call it real life. Don't let him ask what he means by real.
Okay, well, I think that, yeah, sometimes this is good advice. I think it depends on the context. Obviously, sometimes, yeah, it is good to ask, oh, what is real? And at the end of the day, it's good to ask questions that we don't know the answers to, and ponder and be like, what is the universe? How was it created? Why was it created? But as long as you're willing to admit that you don't know the answers and that you're just theorizing, and using your imagination to envisage what it could be, as long as you're honest, then yeah, that's fine. Again, I'm not saying that religious people are bad or anything. I'm arguing against religion as a broader concept. Because this is more of like a debate-y kind of space, if that makes sense. Where I'm giving like my raw, unfiltered opinions. Again, nothing against the actual like religious people. I just want to make that clear. If you are like if you are an avid Christian or an avid Muslim or like obviously I don't want you to feel like alienated or anything, because like you're valid as a person. I'm not going to try and take your faith away from you. But I am going to give my unfiltered opinions here. I just want to make that clear, all right? Please don't take offense. That's what this YouTube channel, well, the point of this YouTube channel is to
just keep
be
focused on
offensive.
the immediate,
kind
focused
of.
on the now. There's nothing that's done this more than the internet age, where our attention spans have been reduced to the next 15 seconds.
No, my attention span has always been shit, even before I was on the internet, so, a checkmate conservatard.
And ruminating on life leads you to higher ideas. If you can prevent people from doing that sort of stuff, you end up with a very materialistic society.
Yes, we need to ruminate more. Oh, okay.
So what exactly does reality mean? Well, according to Screwtape, people ought to be taught that in all experiences, which can make them happier or better, only the physical facts are real, while the spiritual elements are subjective. And
yeah, that's true. The spiritual elements are subjective, because we don't know. What we don't know is what we don't know. And to claim that the spiritual world is this objective thing, when we don't even know if it exists or not, yeah, that would be fucking stupid. So, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. Or trying to argue. I don't know what is his argument.
The spiritual elements are the main reality, and to ignore them is to be an escapist. Right? So the idea is that when you're thinking about death, that the only thing that is real is the death. Right? You're not supposed to look to you're not supposed to look to the spiritual element of death. Or if you look at something that makes you very happy, you're not supposed to look to the spiritual element of what makes you very happy. Just focus in on the pure material.
Oh no. I accidentally closed that. I'm very sad. Okay, well, let's go back to where I was, because I'm so smart.
I'm gonna show you how to write song lyrics.
Shut up,
super
Ad.
fast.
I don't
I'm gonna
care.
Be using Lyric Studio,
Idiot.
and I have this.
Dumb.
In on the pure materialism of the thing.
We're back.
And the
We've
goal
got it
is
back.
to
Sorry,
enmesh
guys.
mankind in the world. And this is something that Catholic theologians talk about a lot. The idea that the spiritual world, if you can enmesh it in reality too much.
Well, okay, it's fine to look at towards like spirituality, and if you're happy and being like, oh, what's the spiritual explanation for this, and my own subjective opinion, or like, if you're about to die, to be like, oh, well, maybe I'll look to spirituality. That's fine. That's valid. I don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me. What's not fine is pretending like it's some sort of like objective fact, and then talking to other people as if it's some sort of objective fact, when in reality it's literally just what you believe. So I think that's
absurd. And you can bring people away from the reality of something higher. This means, for example, that you have to get people to stop thinking about death. It says, Screwtape said...
No. You don't have to not think about death to understand that there is an infinite multitude of possibilities of what occurs after death. And while I might believe that you experience no form of consciousness the same way you did before you were born, I don't say that as if it's like some sort of objective fact, because it's not. That's my subjective opinion, which I am entitled to, but to push it onto others and force others to live as if that's some sort of like objective truth would be fucking absurd, right? So why is it so... You know what? Let's just keep watching. I'm fucking so done with this shit.
How disastrous for us is the continual remembrance of death, which war enforces. One of our best weapons, contented worldliness, is rendered useless. In wartime, not even a human can believe that he is going to live forever. The material world, then, is the chief ally of Screwtape, because people desire not to think of God. God is a distraction. God has obligations. God has duties. Screwtape says, human beings hate every idea that suggests him, just as men in financial embarrassment hate the very sight of a passbook. Passbook meaning like a checkbook. So the idea is that if you're not thinking about duty, and then you're forced to think about duty, you don't like it very much. The other thing that Screwtape tries to get you to focus in on is the future at all times. If you can focus in on the future at all times, then people will be very neglectful of the present.
I think maybe there's like a balance. Like you can focus on the future sometimes, and then like obviously acknowledge what's currently happening, and also remember the past. Like these aren't mutually exclusive things. Maybe that's what Ben is going to argue, and we'll actually agree on something for once. But broken clock is right twice a day. Hopefully this is the one time a day, or one of the times.
So says Screwtape, it's far better to make them live in the future.
Okay.
The future is, of all things, the thing least like eternity. It is the most completely temporal part of time, for the past is frozen, it no longer flows. The present is all lit up with eternal rays, hence the encouragement we have given to all those schemes of thought, like creative evolution.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. What? How is the present is the eternal? What? Maybe I'm just dumb and not understanding this. Maybe my dumb femboy brain just can't comprehend the sheer magnitude of this dude's intellect. Yeah. But, okay. Other stuff he seems pretty...
Which fix men's affections on the future on the very core of temporality. Hence, nearly all vices are rooted in the future. So the idea is if you're thinking about the future, then you're not thinking about the spiritual consequences of the things you do in the here and now. You're thinking about the material consequences of the things that you do in the...
What? Okay, wait. Hold on. No. You can think about the future in a multitude of ways. If you're religious, for instance, you might think of the future as, well, I'm either going to go to hell, or I'm going to go to heaven, or I'm going to go to... What is Muslim heaven called? I don't know. You get the point. Yeah, you could think of it in terms of that. You can think of it in a more material sense, in a more objective, sort of like in reality kind of sense. But yeah, it's fine to think in the future sometimes. Yeah, that's okay. Sometimes you should think about the past, the present too. But yeah,
here and now, and that allows you to do bad things in the name of a quote-unquote better future.
What? What bad things? What are you talking about? I mean, sure, there might be times where you have to do things you don't want to do to benefit your future self, which I think is closer to what this person was actually trying to get at. But I don't think if there's something... Yeah, and maybe I'm just not like other atheists. Maybe I'm like special and different and quirky. But I personally believe that like if something is like completely goes against my own like moral like philosophy, like I'm not gonna do it and be like, well, the ends justify the means. Unless it's like proportionally like such like an extreme like obvious like. Okay, you know, I might be against, like, hurting an innocent person mildly. Like, I don't know, like, slapping somebody in the face. That's not very nice. But if I get $1 billion from it, like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Fuck that. I'll give them, like, $1,000 to make up for it. Yeah. I would get slapped in the face for $1,000. Fucking kidding me? Hell yeah. But yeah. So, I don't know. This is, again, a non-argument. Like, what is he trying to argue here? How, like, what?
Screwtape says the best thing you can do is convince people that their utopian thoughts are the things that are mandated by God. So, on the one hand, you try to get people sunk in reality, and this drives them away from God.
Okay. Who gives a shit? Oh no, they're gonna go away from God. That's a bad thing because why? How is that a bad thing? I mean, there's a difference between saying it's like not necessarily a good thing versus saying it is a flat out bad thing. It could be neutral. I think it's either neutral or a good thing, but that's my opinion. But I don't really care. It's like, again, if you're just religious in your free time, I don't... Who gives a shit?
that people should be led to examine their own emotions constantly. Like if you can be narcissistically checking yourself all the time.
Being self-aware and knowing what your own emotions are is narcissistic? Since when? It's okay to have emotions and be aware that they exist. I don't see how that... In what world is that narcissism? Okay, I feel like Ben here is just being, like, deliberately fucking obtuse. Like, he's going out of his way to miss the point. But, again, he's a grifter, so what do you expect?
We're going to end up without God. So, if you feel wildly enthusiastic about becoming religious, then Wormwood ought to encourage people to wait for the anticlimax, right? Because you get enthusiastic about a thing, then you become less enthusiastic about the thing, and then you pounce. Quote, work hard then on the disappointment or anticlimax, which is certainly coming to the patient during his first few weeks as a churchman. In every department of life, it marks the transition from dreaming aspiration to laborious doing. The enemy takes this risk because he has a curious fantasy of making all these disgusting little human vermin into what he calls his free lovers and servants. Sons is the word he uses. So, in other words, very often in life, we engage at the beginning of a task with great enthusiasm, and then the enthusiasm wears away. This happens all the time with a variety of tasks. And once that happens, that is when you encourage people to look into being morose, look into being depressed, to reject the spirit.
No. Oh my god, I thought he was gonna say something like I agreed with, but no. No one is saying to be depressed. That's a completely different thing. What? No. What? Being less, like, religion has nothing to do, like, being religious doesn't bring you happiness. You bring yourself happiness. If you use religion as, like, a means to do that, fine, fair enough, I don't care. You do you. But to say that, like, to say that, atheism is somehow equivalent to depression, like, implicitly, like, stating that is fucking deranged. It's fucking stupid.
Spiritual aspect of their duty. To stop trying to take joy in the spiritual aspect of what they're doing and instead focus in on the fact that it's just sheer drudgery.
I mean, kind of. Maybe you could argue that, like, that the guy who wrote this was, like, being, like, a little bit too pushy with his beliefs. I mean, I would kind of agree with that. He was a little pushy, being like, yeah, let's, like, push people away from religion. Like, directly. Fine when they're, like, at, like, their, like, least faithful point, and pounce. Like, okay, maybe that's a little bit, like, questionable, but, like, I don't really see a problem with it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you could be like, hey, did you know that, like, you don't have to believe in this? Like, you can believe, like, in anything, like, that isn't rigid. I don't know. But I don't think it should be, like, forcefully taken away from anybody or anything.
So, for example, when it comes to prayer, human beings should be encouraged to seek a feeling of inspiration, specifically because it's very hard to find. I mean, I pray 3 times a day. I've talked about this before. Finding a feeling...
Good for you. I don't give a shit.
...of inspiration while you're praying.
Again, if that's how you give yourself a feeling of inspiration, cool. That doesn't mean shit, though, because, like, that doesn't apply to everybody. Praying does absolutely fuck all for me. I used to think it did, and then I realized, oh, wait, I can do this without believing in, like, this weird, rigid set of, like, this weird, rigid ideology that's internally inconsistent and fucking scary and weird and not very logical and uses fear tactics like hell to get its point across. Like, I mean, come on. Like, that shit fucking... Knowing about hell as a kid fucking
really,
traumatized me.
And so if you're constantly searching your feelings all the time, I'm not inspired enough, eventually, like, I'm never getting inspired, and you stop doing it.
Okay, if that is an ongoing issue for you, like it is for... well, still a little bit of an issue for me, but not really anymore. Then I recommend seeking therapy, because that's what helped me, not religion. So, yeah... You don't just need, like, religion. You can find a different way to do that. To claim that religion is, like, the only means of being inspired is fucking absurd. Like, come on. If it works for you, great. It doesn't work for everybody, though. That's the thing. Oh, just pray harder. No.
Whereas the reality is,
I was a firm believer at one point. When I was like a little kid, I was a very firm believer until like, I want to say like 7th grade or something. 7th or 8th grade, I stopped believing. Well, I started to question it, and then I'm like, man, this is some really fucked up shit. God doesn't even follow his own 10 commandments. Like, come on. Really? Like, come on. If you can't follow your own fucking rules, like,
you should
fuck
stop
off.
searching inside your own feelings all the time. You should focus on the doing of the prayer. And then when eventually you stumble onto the feeling, it's an incredible thing. But at least you won't stop doing
I'm glad that you feel that way.
the thing when you lose the feeling. So if you focus in on the feeling, when the feeling goes short, you stop doing the duty. If you focus in on the duty, then eventually you come to feeling is the case.
Okay, well, that's where a psychological technique called opposite to emotion action, I think is called. OEA for short. Literally defies this, because no, you're not always gonna feel like emotionally inclined to do something, right? I don't wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh boy, I'm so excited to do laundry and go get gas for my car today. No, obviously I don't want to do any of that shit. But again, there are psychological techniques that you can use to circumvent this. Like this isn't like a super I mean, some of it is complicated. But like this isn't like a new like phenomenon of like, oh yeah, fucking now that people aren't religious, now they're demotivated. Nope, there have been fucking depressed, demotivated people for ages. So yeah, okay.
Case that Lewis is actually making. We'll get to more on this in just one second. First, it's no secret that the holiday season is the best time to buy a car. Dealers are motivated to hit end-of-month and end-of-year sales quotas, and with used car prices coming down,
okay, I literally
you can expect
don't
to
care.
see even more amazing deals this year. But before you set foot by unit in the dealer, the cars spend today all day. Unself-conscious when considering sin. The rule of thumb for seducing mankind away from God.
Wow,
is
he's
to
getting
encourage
paid at
people
least.
To be unself-conscious when considering sin. So to be unabashed, unashamed. You should be very just out there and blasé about your sin. But to be
why not?
self-conscious and awkward when you consider acts of faith. And this is modern society in a nutshell, right? The more you sin, the more...
Well, no, I don't think that you should like feel bad about like having faith, but like if like there's like a sin, quote unquote, that doesn't negatively affect anybody, then like who the fuck cares? Like, I'm sorry, I don't care if me getting railed by another man is a sin. Okay, I don't give a shit. You think that's gonna stop me, Mr. Ben Shapiro? You think that's gonna fucking stop me? No, it's not gonna stop me. It's never gonna stop me, alright? Yeah, you heard me. I don't care if it's a sin. You can suck my dick if you think it is. And that would also be a sin, I guess. I don't... Who fucking cares at this point? It's fucking Ben Shapiro. He's a fucking grifter. Doesn't actually believe in any of the shit he says. Well, I think he is religious, but
celebrating your
I think
sin.
he's religious, but
when it comes
you
to
know.
going to church, you should be shy. I don't want to be judgmental.
What? Okay.
I'll make you feel ashamed. I don't want to make you feel bad about the fact that I go to synagogue on a routine basis. I know my yarmulke makes you feel uncomfortable as a Jew.
No, I don't give a shit. That stuff is great. Good for you. I don't care. But like, the problem is when it's being forced upon other people. I think the reason why there are some like lay Reddit atheist types like this, where it's like, let's pressure people to go away from religion, is it's ultimately this sort of like counterculture type of phenomenon, where it's like, if the default is to be religious, then people are going to, at least contrarians like me, are inherently going to be inclined to go the opposite way and be like, no, religion is actually bad, stop being religious. Because if somebody is like, oh, religion is good, be religious, my natural instinct, the first thing I want to do is say, no, and also you should stop being religious, instead of just stopping at no, which is really what I should do. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I think there's a difference between, like, giving opinions, and being like, here's why I think religion is stupid, and why it's bad or something, as opposed to being like, people being religious is always bad, and if you're an individual who is religious, fuck you, you're contributing to the problem. If that was me, then yeah, I'd be an asshole. But I think there's a difference between what I do, like, what the most aggressive anti-religious stuff, quote unquote, I guess you could say, that I do is maybe whatever, whenever I'm like talking about the reasons I don't believe in it, but like playing it up for like entertainment value. But I don't think that counts. Like whenever I'm like, come on, you believe in a talking snake and a man who walked on water type of shit. Like, I don't actually give a shit if that's what you believe, right? But I say it because it's funny, and I think it's funny. And it's like, oh no, what if somebody gets I don't fucking care. Like, I'm willing to offend fucking anybody, alright? I don't give a shit. I think you're allowed to make jokes at the expense of everyone, and that includes religious people. Yeah, like the conservative types will tell you, oh yeah, we just don't care. We don't get offended by anything. Yeehaw. We think that you should be able to like say like the N-word and stuff, cause that's free speech and that's protected by the First Amendment. But then it's like, as soon as you like make like one joke, making fun of Christianity and being like, buddy, you believe in a talking snake, idiot. It's like, oh, no, well, not that. That's too far. All other stuff is fine. You can, like, be racist and say the N-word and stuff, and bigoted and homophobic, but as soon as you criticize religion, now that's taken it a step too far. Even that goes against, isn't protected by the First Amendment, I'll have you find. It's like, okay, maybe use your fucking head and apply like the same logic to everybody if you're gonna like. And it's like, I'm not even like a free speech absolutist or anything. I mean, I'm somewhat close to it, but again, I think there's a difference between government suppressing speech and corporations suppressing speech, and public backlash against speech. I think that these are three separate things that need to be addressed as such. So, you know, I don't think that it is fair to say, yeah, I don't even know. You know what? Let's just continue watching. I'm going on a tangent, aren't I? I mean, that's sort of my job here, isn't it? Go on a tangent, get watch time,
make you think that
be entertaining.
Just enough, but when it comes to my sin, man, I will tell you about my sins all day long, because we can all be comfortable. We can be the boys when we're talking.
Hell yeah, dude. We're gonna talk about the sins. Yeah, man. I, like, committed 27 sins today. One of them was, when I, like, pushed the old lady in front of a car. The other one was when I ran over some pedestrians. And then there was that one time when, you did the... No, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. We're just not... I think I already went there earlier in the stream, but...
Other roads to hell include depression and anxiety, Screwtape says. When people are depressed, they are more likely to despair that their actions and thoughts even matter, and so they sort of sink into a malaise.
Okay.
This
depression affects everybody, including religious people.
Grayness, right? If you're passionate about things, then very often you can find spirituality. But if you're gray about things, it's very...
No. This is like a bad interpretation. Like the least charitable interpretation you could give. My interpretation of it, which is probably a lot more likely, is that passion doesn't equal religion. That's not the point that's being made. The point is that like any other passion, being passionate about religion is just like a passion. And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with like pressuring somebody to step away from religion, beyond maybe like a discussion or like an argument. The point that was being made here was, like any other passion, that the passion can burn out. And when that passion starts to burn out, that's when it's the easiest to convince them to not believe in the religion anymore. he's not saying that, well, you see, religion equals passion, and religion is bad, and passion is bad, and I want everybody to be depressed atheists like me. That's not what was being said. So this is such a shitty, bad faith interpretation. But I don't expect anything more from Ben. I mean, again, he's a grifter. He doesn't actually give a shit. He just wants money. Despite what he may want you to fucking believe. He gets paid to do this.
Spirituality. He says the Christians describe the enemy as one without whom nothing is strong. And nothing is very strong. Strong enough to steal away a man's best years, not in sweet sins, but in a dreary flickering of the mind over it knows not what and knows...
I don't like the wording of this. This is hurting my brain, okay? It's hurting my small pea-sized brain. I almost said pee-pee brain. Yeah, it's hurting my little pee-pee brain, okay?
In the gratification of curiosity so feeble that man is only half aware of them, it does not matter how small the sins are, provided that their cumulative effect is to edge the man away from the light and out into the nothing. I mean, is this a great description of the internet age, or is this a great description of the internet age? You spend all...
Funny. Got me rolling on the floor laughing, Ben.
All day on social
I know.
media.
I feel like he was trying to be funny there.
Yeah, consuming
Maybe
your
he
time
wasn't.
with absolute stupidities. You don't feel anything good about it.
Absolute stupidity, like the Daily Wire.
It just feels like bleh. And then when
I do feel like bleh whenever I watch your shit, Ben.
you go outside in the sun, you still feel unenthusiastic.
Okay, but why would okay, first of all, yes, I do still but secondly, I don't okay, the reason I avoid the sun is not due to like me wanting to stay inside all day. It's I want to keep my skin protected from the sun. Even with sunscreen on. And I really should start applying sunscreen every day. Because I know like the UV rays can like go through the glass of like the window and shit, or like if you're driving, like your hands on the steering wheel and then the sun like goes onto your hands. I know that's all like bad for your skin. So yeah, that's the reason I avoid it. Is I want to look 20 when I am 45. Okay, that is what I want in life. All right. That's all, like, and you know what? I'm gonna fucking achieve that because unlike you, Ben, with your nasty, wrinkly, disgusting skin in your 30s, I think he's in his 30s. Is he in his 40s? He's definitely at least approaching 40, right? He's gotta be, right? How old is Ben Shapiro? Okay. All right. We gotta look this up. Oh shit, am I still streaming? Oh, I am. Oh shit, am I still streaming? Okay, good. Oh, before we look that up, I need to read the chat. Oh yes. All right, let's see here. Oh, before we look that up, I need to read the chat. Oh yes. All right, let's see here. Oh, before we look that up, I need to Ooh, it's echoing. I like that. Ooh, isn't that fun? All right, let's see here. All right. Ooh, it's echoing. Ooh, isn't that fun? Okay. All right. Okay. It's echoing. Zoomers RIP. Sounds like an echo. All right. Okay. It's echoing. Okay. I'm gonna turn my mic down. Holy shit. I didn't test my audio before this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Idiot. I'm gonna turn my mic down. Holy shit. I didn't test my audio before this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, alright, testing, pussy 1 2 3. This is entertainment, alright. This is good entertainment. Testing, pussy 1 2 3. This is entertainment, alright. Okay, that's actually better, alright. Testing, pussy 1 2 3. This is entertainment. Okay, that's actually better, alright. Sure, you more... Oh, shit. Sure, you know more about Judaism than Ben? I didn't say that I did. But that doesn't... What kind of argument is that? Okay, what's a woman? A woman is somebody whose internal perception of themselves is aligned with what is a woman. And what that means... What's the best way to fucking describe it? Because I've heard so many different definitions, okay? I will criticize the left. There hasn't been, like, a coherent, like, a cohesive, universal, unanimously agreed upon a definition yet. But I believe that what it really is I think that gender is a physiological construct, alright? Maybe, yeah, you know what, we're gonna go... I don't want to call... It's not really the transmedicalist route, because I think you should still be able to do whatever the fuck you want. But I think that ultimately what it boils down to is this very complex series of neural pathways and the way your neurons are fired and whatnot, and it's a matter of your brain structure and functionality, which can be measured by like things like PET scans, but even then it's like it doesn't really get into like all the complex shit. But ultimately, that's why gender is more of like a spectrum than anything. It's like a bimodal spectrum, right? So you have like the majority of people like are either here or here, and then like it's like sort of like tapers off, and it's like, oh, okay, it goes down, and then you have like a very few people here like in the middle. So yeah, I think that's a good description of how gender works. I mean, sex is the same way. I mean, that's why you have intersex people. Sex is also bimodal, for different reasons. But yeah, sex is the biological construct, and gender is the physiological construct, and then gender expression is the social construct. That's the way I view it. I think that there are some elements of gender itself that are also socially constructed, but I don't like to say gender is a social construct, because most of the time when people say that, it's just like this cop-out response of not, when you don't know what you're actually talking about, just being like, oh yeah, it's a social construct, and then leaving it at that. I don't think that that's a good faith argument. I think that's just saying a bunch of words. But what a woman is someone whose brain chemistry and structure aligns with that of a woman. And that's why people have gender dysphoria. But like only a few people, right? People that have gender dysphoria are I don't want to say they're born in the wrong body, but let's say that I am born as a male and I have gender dysphoria. What that means is that my brain has the brain chemistry and structure that aligns with the average female, more or less. But again, the reason why it's a bimodal distribution in the first place is because obviously there's not like these two like binary sets of brains, right? Like brains are complicated. There's a bunch of shit in between, right? I would consider myself to be somewhere like in between. Like I just don't give a fuck about gender. That's why I dress like this, okay? Yeah. Like I don't give a shit about conforming to any genders. So yeah, fuck that. And you can break it down infinitely, technically speaking, but like ultimately I'd like to break it down into 3, which is there's obviously man, and then there's woman, and then there's non-binary, which is like everything in between. Sort of like an umbrella term. Because again, it might be scary to a centrist to see like all these like fucking middle whatever, like, oh, there's infinitely many genders and I gotta learn about. No. As long as you just know the umbrella term non-binary and are okay with occasionally using they them pronouns, then that's all you need to do. With someone who's non-binary. That's why I don't buy into like the neo-pronouns thing, because it's like, okay, but like how I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad either. I'm just like, I'm not so sure about that, so that's why I don't talk about that. But it's like, but at the same time, it doesn't affect me, but like also it could potentially theoretically affect me. Yeah. I smashed like. Haha, you can't answer what is. I just did. I fucking idiot. I'm reading past chats, by the way. I just didn't have chat on screen, alright? Sorry. I only have my fucking laptop monitor right now. Yeah, that's my fault. Ooh, sorry. Fucking hell. Let's check the audio. Uh-oh. That's not good. With someone who's non-binary. That's why I don't buy into, like, the neo-pronouns thing, because it's like, okay, but... Okay, alright. Like, how... Mic is still a little bit loud, I find. Okay. That's weird. Okay. Oh, these are old chats. This isn't even the topic of... I don't even know what that's... An adult human male. You're objectively wrong. Have no effect on society. They weren't ruining female sports or... Dude, okay. I'm not gonna get into the whole fucking debate about, like... Okay, first of all, you can support trans rights while still maybe not entirely supporting, like, the trans sports thing. I get that. I'm not fucking delusional. I understand that, yes, if you go through male puberty, even after you take estrogen, yeah, you're gonna have... You are objectively at a clear advantage over your competitors, right? And that's not fair. So I do agree that, okay, maybe they don't go to the Olympics or, like, you know, high-level sports, or they just do exhibition or whatever. Like, believe it or not, you can have a nuanced take on this. That's crazy, I know. I don't know too much about the science behind it. That's why I don't really talk about it that much, but in general, I am also a little bit iffy on, like, the trans sports thing. So I don't even disagree with that. It's as long as they're just being treated like human beings and, like, respected, like, that's literally just be indifferent, and that's all we ask. We don't want special treatment. I'm gonna turn down the mic a little bit. We don't want special treatment. We don't want any of that shit. We just want to be treated like fucking, like, not subhuman, okay? Just be indifferent. It's not hard. You just don't care, okay? Is it really that much of a stretch to say that it, you know, the bare minimum is to just not give a shit? Like, come on. Let's read more chats, because I'm so fucking behind on reading this. I'm sorry, I got carried away. Okay. Where do morals come from other than God? Well, morals ultimately come from ourselves, our own brains. So, for instance, I have built my own moral foundation in my head. Because at the end of the day, morals are all subjective. But I believe that there are certain things called axiomatic principles, right? Things that we sort of see as a given in society. So I tend to apply those for the most part, but I also apply things that I personally believe. So an example I like to bring up is every action is a right and a freedom to do and is justified until there is actually a logical reason for it not to be. So if it doesn't negatively affect society at all, then I don't give a shit. Because there's no logical reason for me to. As soon as it harms somebody, then yes, I give a shit. But until then, no, I don't. I believe that maximizing the outcomes that are beneficial to individual freedom, liberty, and whatnot, as well as overall happiness, I think that these are all good things. So when it comes to, and again, it gets very complicated very quickly, because it's like, well, what is freedom? And it's like, okay, well, why do we all agree that no one should have the freedom to murder? Well, because it takes away somebody's freedom to live, right? But ultimately, what this requires, and your homework for tonight, person in chat that was challenging me on this, yeah, I know you're still watching this, is to think about what you believe, not what you think the Bible says or believes, because ultimately that's just as subjective. But I want you to start thinking about, what do you believe personally? Okay? That's your homework. The principle, and that can guide your morals. Oh yeah, that looks like somebody kind of answered that. Ethics come from where? Ideas from others, deep thoughts, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. What? This dude is so fucking stupid. He said, why should anyone care about others' freedom? You know why? Because when you're the one who's having your freedom be challenged, which you will at some point, I'm sure, because it does work like a pendulum, then maybe I should start asking you the same thing. If you ever have your rights taken away, I'll be asking you that. Why should I care? It doesn't affect me. You want to know why we should care about you want to know why I care about other people's rights, even when it doesn't affect me directly? Because it negatively affects people whose rights are being infringed upon. And because I'm not a fucking selfish narcissist, I actually do care. And I think that that's wrong. Like, it's called being a decent person. You don't need religion for that. Okay? I have found a way to do it secularly. Secularly is a word, right? I don't know. It is now. Okay. Okay, then they should band together. Okay. Societies work in the past. Okay. Not everybody cares about helping the most people. Yeah, no shit, but that applies to religious people too. Why do you think there are priests that rape children? Do you think it's because they're just not religious? No, they genuinely believe in the shit that they preach most of the time. Maybe some of them don't, but there are religious people who also do shitty things. Why is there no correlation even? Like, not just no causation, but there is literally no correlation. It has been proven that there's no correlation between being a good person and being religious. Literally, they have nothing to do with each other. Because at the end of the day, when you're religious, you do the same thing that I do, where you create your own morals. But the way you do it is different. You do it in this very roundabout way, which is how you interpret the Bible. And some of the morals you might get are from other outside forces. So maybe not necessarily the Bible, but you might listen to what a preacher might say, or whatever, a pastor, or or a priest, or whoever. Whoever's preaching these ideas, in their opinion, that might reflect in what you believe. Or alternatively, you could listen to somebody spread their secular ideas, and those might start to resonate with you as well. I don't think that this is a religious thing. It's more of a what's on the inside type of thing, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all internal. That's really what it boils down to. Also, depends on the type. Government shouldn't ban any speech. In general, I agree with that. I think obviously there are limits. Like, okay, it shouldn't be legal to yell the word fire in a movie theater for no reason, right? Because that causes harm. Like that is a net negative on society. Literally no benefit to that, right? So obviously that's not going to be protected by the First Amendment. I think that's a good example of what I'm sort of like getting at. What you want banned today will be different from what people want banned tomorrow. I get that, but like again, let's say that, but like again, the reason that, and I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with this, but it's just to give another perspective, right? Because this is the perspective of a lot of people, and I think it gets misconstrued a lot, even though I don't agree with it necessarily. When people are wanting to censor people that are bigoted, right? Or like people that are like blatantly spreading hateful ideas, or even misinformation. The reason why a lot of people want that to be censored comes from a place of consequentialism, of, well, this only produces negative outcomes, so we should ban this in order to minimize the negative outcomes that it produces. I think that another argument for it is, well, if we don't, then the fascists who are spreading these horrendous ideas are going to obtain power, and then once they do you think the fascists are going to give a shit about free speech? No. And guess what? I see so many fucking debates with, like, Nazis and religious fundamentalists where when it comes to, like, actually, like, free speech, it's like they'll talk about, oh, my free speech is being suppressed all the time, but then when it comes to, like, gay people on TV, oh, that should be banned. When it comes to, like, talking about, like, gay people or trans people existing in school, oh, no, that should be illegal. That's grooming the kids. So at the end of the day, they don't actually give a fuck about free speech. I personally think that, okay, you know, maybe not censoring ideas is for the better. And again, it gets a little bit weird when it comes to, like, corporations and whether or not they should be able to censor ideas, because they also have the legal power to do that right now. Whether they should or shouldn't have that is a completely different debate, and it's like, okay, well, what if the government regulates corporations in this way? And it's like, well, okay, but what would be... It gets so complicated so quickly, and because I'm not, like, an expert on every single subject, that's why I can't really get into too many specifics when it comes to what should and shouldn't be protected by free speech. Because at the end of the day, it's inadvertently going to, like, if something gets censored or doesn't get censored, it's going to have consequences regardless, right? There are always going to be unintentional consequences of letting something happen or of preventing something from happening. And it becomes a very complicated subject. Alright, let's see. Yeah, there should always be good reasons. Hey, just joined. Welcome, Glory Memes, if you're still here. Oh, wow, I'm behind. Hey, just joined. Welcome, Glory Memes, if you're still here. Oh, wow, I'm behind. Hey, just joined. Wait, let's go. Oh. Well, I guess I just never get to know what, oh, I'm in the corner of the screen, haha. Window capture. Oh. I'm so smart. Okay, yeah, alright. Fuck that. Grooming is really happening, though. There are tons of kid drag shows, now because they're exposed to it. That's crazy. Very sexualized. Bro, what are you fucking... Okay. If in the very niche, rare instance in which this actually happens, which is very rare, because most drag shows aren't even sexual. Most people in drag are wearing more clothes than you would on a regular day walking down the street, okay? Whenever it's, like, family friendly or, like, in front of kids, they're not wearing anything revealing, because drag isn't inherently sexual. I think that you shouldn't be, like, showing kids things that are sexual in general. I think it's one thing if they find it on their own. I think it's another if you're encouraging it, because you shouldn't be encouraging it, right? Because ultimately, if you encourage it, then they might see something when they're not ready. Whereas if you actively are, like, neutral or, like, vaguely opposed to it, obviously they're gonna go against you at some point as the parent, right? And they're gonna get curious. They're gonna look some stuff up. When they look stuff up, is usually when they're going to be ready. Now, I think that there are measures that should be taken to make sure, okay, let's make sure that nobody accidentally finds this stuff, because obviously that would be bad. But, I think that, yeah, like, obviously, if there is a drag show that is a sexual drag show, which or a show in general. This has nothing to do with drag. The only reason that you might think that it does is because that's the narrative that conservatives are trying to push. But in general, you shouldn't be bringing kids to things that are sexual, period. Doesn't matter if it's a drag show or not. Drag in of itself is not a sexual thing. Yeah, obviously you shouldn't be, like, forcing your kids to watch something sexual. Obviously, if they're not ready, they're not ready. And as soon as they are ready enough where they're gonna, like, be a contrarian and go against what you as the parent tell them not to do, because I don't really think you should take preventative measures as, like, an adult either and be like, I will guarantee that there is a 0% chance of little 8-year-old Jimmy finding prawn on the internet, okay? It's like, okay, if they want to go, if I were to have a kid and they want to go against me, they want to be contrarian, like what I did when I was a kid, at that point, they are probably ready to see that, and I'm not gonna fucking, like, take preventative measures. The most preventative measure I might take is be like, oh, be careful on the internet, it's kind of dangerous sometimes, never post your name, or your address, or, like, anything personal about you, don't even post your face until you're at least 13 years old, or 12 years old, whatever, you get the point. I mean, that's kind of what my parents did, right? And that is the correct way to do it, in my opinion. Now, I don't think that, I think as long as you teach your kids internet safety, and you don't go out of your way to show them anything sexual, I think that, I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but I think that as long as you're, like, sort of discouraging it a little bit, then, yeah, you're fine. You're doing fine. You don't need to, like, cover their eyes, be like, oh no, there's a kissing scene that, from in a movie you wanted to watch, or I don't know. Because usually if a kid doesn't want to see that, they'll just, like, close their eyes on their own, and they'll be like, ew! Like, I remember in 2nd grade, if there was ever a movie where me and a group of kids were watching and there was a kissing scene, we would all unanimously be like, ew, that's so gross, why are they doing that? Ooh, it's like, okay, yeah, obviously that's gonna be the natural 3rd grader reaction. I mean, what do you expect? And that's like, oh, yeah, that's like before you're ready to see things that are sexual, obviously. Because at that point, like, you don't want to see it as a kid. There was a point, like, it's funny because when I was a kid, right, I really did not want to see, I was like, oh yeah, it would be nasty if I saw somebody naked, so I'm gonna avoid websites like that. So I never saw it, and then one day I was like, you know, actually, I don't give a shit anymore. It's funny because the first, like, sexually explicit stuff I found, was actually, it was actually, like, the really, like, kinky, depraved stuff. Don't ask me how I fell down that rabbit hole. Or, you know what? Do I tell you about the rabbit hole? Because it is genuinely concerning. Alright. Let's, make me bigger. Yeah. No? Stupid. Fuck you. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now that I'm on the big screen now, not in the corner, since we're doing a tangent section, because I love talking. We already watched Ben Shapiro do his little spiel segment thingy, yeah, kind of. But I remember I was, for those of you who are hate watching me, y'all are gonna make fun of me for this, but when I was 8, like, I think it was when I was 8 or 9. I was like a huge brony, okay? Alright, I fucking loved the show, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And then the following years I was really embarrassed by that, so I, like, was like, no, I definitely didn't, like that, and I just never brought it up, and I would get really mad and embarrassed if my parents ever, like, brought it up to, even if it was just, like, directly to me. I just wanted to pretend like that didn't exist for a while. At this point, I don't give a shit. But that's just because I'm not as insecure as I used to be. But, you know, when you're on the internet, at a young age, and you know, you're a fan of something like in an innocent sense. Like I was just like an innocent little 8-year-old, okay, who just liked a slightly more feminine show, more femininely aesthetic show. It wasn't even like that. It was like super feminine. It was like more like yeah, it was like a pretty good like the plot slash storyline slash whatever was actually pretty good regardless of gender. It was more of like a feminine looking aesthetic. But that's besides the point. Yeah, there were some people in the fandom, and obviously as an 8-year-old, I didn't know this at the time, who yeah, they were a little bit more on the sexual side. So I remember when I was 8, it had to have been when I was 8, right? Or was I 9? I'm gonna say 8. I think I was 8. 8 and 9. 8 about to turn 9, let's say. That's probably what it was. Or barely 9. Sorry. And I discovered, because I think I was like looking for like custom like My Little Pony character art for like to like draw inspiration from, because I wanted to like create my own like drawing or whatever. I know it's cringe. I was 8, okay? But on DeviantArt there was oh boy. Oh man. Don't go on DeviantArt if you're an 8-year-old, okay? Unless you're like really like strong and ready for that shit, okay? Okay, honestly, it did not affect me. Well, or at least it didn't affect me negatively. Some people might argue that it did, if they don't know me or anything or something. I don't even think that anyone knows this, because this was like a very personal thing. But like, the first thing I stumbled across, on there, was like the most like depraved shit. Like I think it was like, I don't remember. It was like, it was like an image of like one, like, it was like an image of like one of the characters like pissing in a diaper or something. Something that's like very out there. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And I was like rather than like immediately being like repulsed by that, it sparked my newfound curiosity. Like, why? I was like, wait, why are people drawing this? So I like started like searching around, doing a little like investigation. It was basically just like 8-year-old me being like, oh, what is this? What is this BDSM stuff that they are talking about? What BDSM? What does that even stand for? I still don't even remember what it stands for. I know what it is now, but I don't. It's like something dominant, submissive. I don't. Shut up, okay? I don't remember. I have bad memory, but I get the gist of it, okay? Yeah. But it was like, okay. I mean, maybe that's why my sexuality is all fucked up today. Because I saw all that shit, and it's like, okay, well, now I have a bunch of, like, weird kinks. I think that definitely contributed to it, because it was, like, some of the first stuff I saw. But, like, and then there was, like, a fan fiction that was very sexual it was, like, marketed as a creepypasta, but, like, it just ended up becoming, like, a horny post. oh, God. You know what? I think I remember what it was called, but I'm not gonna say it. I don't want anybody to read it, okay? It wasn't it's not something you would enjoy reading. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know why it was written explicitly, but I'm pretty sure it was written by like a fucking 40-year-old man who was very horny and depraved, okay? And I don't want you to have to, like, subject yourself to that, because I know that, like, you're gonna be fucking curious, and most people don't have as strong of a stomach as me. Most people aren't, like, fucking autistically disconnected, okay? Like, I think autism is like an advantage sometimes, you know? You're disconnected and you have like if something like, unless something presents like an immediate threat to you, you basically just don't give a shit. Sometimes, I guess, at least for me. I don't know. That's how I am. But it was very hold on, I'm gonna move OBS over a little bit. I'm gonna, like, make it slightly small. Oh, I can't. So I can read chat. Sexual about drag, that explains a lot. Look how you turned out. It did affect you. I'm legit sorry for you. The world is corrupt. Okay, this is not an argument against drag. This is an argument against deviant art not having, like, a fucking, like, feature where it's like, oh yeah, you can't see this if you don't have an account where you've confirmed that you're 18 or some shit like that. Like, there was, like, nothing was marked as, like, NSFW, I don't think. I think that was the issue, is like, I didn't know what I was looking at. And I got curious. But it didn't, like, traumatize me or anything. This isn't, like, when my problem... Like, my life didn't, like, suddenly go downhill from there. In fact, I was actually on... Like, my life was actually kind of on an incline at the time. In late elementary school, early... like, right... Up until middle school, right? It was progressively getting better. Because, like, when I was a very little kid, like, I always had, like, these issues, because, like, basically, and this may be a real shocker for some of you. For some of you, you may have seen it coming because of confirmation bias. And what I mean by that is you didn't see it coming, but you'd like to think you did, because you dislike me, and you're hate-watching. But I was actually a special needs kid. Wow, who would have guessed? But, yeah, I was not very articulate at the time. I guess you could argue that in some instances not much has changed, but, yeah, I had a lot of issues back then. But I was smarter than people thought I was, because I do distinctly remember trying to articulate certain things, but, like, nobody would fucking listen to me. Like, I think that's more, like, traumatizing, like, feeling like you're fucking helpless and that nobody's gonna listen to you no matter what you say, and you're stuck in, like, it's like this feeling of stuckness. That was way more traumatizing than anything I saw in deviant art, okay? What was really traumatizing was, like, my fucking childhood of just, like, I don't even know. It was like I wanted to say so many things, but I wasn't able to. And it was fucking miserable. And I acted out when I was that age. I think I was I was definitely physically aggressive at the time. I know. Who would have guessed? Like, me now, like, I'm like the most, like, passive, like, I don't want to say I'm, like, the most passive motherfucker, but, like, physically speaking, you know, I've got a little bit of muscle, okay? Little bit, yeah, okay, maybe not, shut up. But at the time, I was, like, I was, like, almost like the opposite. No, actually, no, not the opposite, but very different in terms of how I presented myself, articulated myself, because I didn't know how to articulate myself. It's funny because, when I was a little kid, I'd always secretly wanted to be, like, a girl, and to do more feminine things, but I was really embarrassed by it, because I knew that, like, nobody was gonna, like, accept me for it, or at least that's what I thought at the time, and given the circumstances, yeah, I probably would have been bullied more than I had already been, and I think I was already getting bullied at that point, because, you know, I was the weird special ed kid, but, you know, I would do, like, you know, like, I was very repressive, even back then, and I tried to overcompensate, and I did this, like, I think I, like, went on, like, this, like, almost, like, I don't want to say misogynistic, because I wasn't even, like, genuinely hateful or anything. I was just, like, trying to be, like, no, I don't like anything feminine. I am super manly. I'm, like, a real man as a 5-year-old, and I only like cool boy stuff, and girls are disgusting and should go to jail. Ugh, women, ew, girls are gross and have cooties. That type of shit, where it's like, I mean, part of it is like, oh, you don't want to admit that you like girls, but, like, also part of it was like, oh, I'm not one of them. They're like this, and I think it's disgusting because I'm not like that type of shit. but I was 5. There are grown adults that do that genuinely say that type of shit today. It's just worded a little bit differently. So they're basically, like, mentally speaking, they're at where I was at when I was 5, which is not very far. But, like, I even though I was dumb in terms of, like, me being inarticulate at the time, I was very smart in some, like, other regards, like, I don't want to say, like, very smart, like, me saying this now obviously isn't going to sound like, you're not going to be like, oh my god, what an astute observation, but, like, even just, like, little criticisms of, like, the school system, like, I remember, I don't know if this is just, like, an American thing, but, like, for those of you, in chat who are at least American, you might remember in, like, kindergarten or whatever, there were these, like, math worksheets, and on them would be 10 addition problems, right? It would be like 8 plus 1, 8 plus 2, 8 plus 3, etc. And it would be, and then there would be like 9 more rows of 10 problems where it's the same 10 fucking problems but reordered. And even when I was like 5 and in kindergarten, even back then I said, wow, this is fucking stupid. Maybe not with that wording, but I refused to do it because I would finish the first 10 problems and I'd be like, I'm done. I finished. And then the teacher would be like, no you didn't. There's still 90 more problems. And I'm like, bitch, I already did 8 plus 5. The fuck you on about? Like, no, I actually finished it. If you're genuinely not sure about what 8 plus 5 is, you can look at my answer. You can reference the top, okay? What I already wrote, okay? It is if I write that 8 plus 5 is 13 in one spot, it is implied, like, I'm implying that it goes there in every other spot. I don't know, maybe every 5-year-old understood this, and they just weren't willing to die on that hill. I definitely was. It was a dumb hill to die on. And this is why, even today, I consider myself to be very smart and very stupid, simultaneously, because it's like, okay, on one hand, I'm smart for, like, observing that. I was smart for observing that, and being, and even created a pretty good argument for the time. Like, you know, like, I don't even know if I was necessarily inarticulate for my age, or if I was inarticulate for the things I wanted to articulate. But either way, like, on one hand, I was like, okay, kind of smart, being able to point that out, being able to make that argument. But I was also really stupid for dying on such a dumb hill. It's like, okay, but, like, you're ignoring the fact, like, I don't know, the fact that this is, like, the easiest fucking A. Like, come on. Like, dude, this is a free A. Like, come on, man. Like, if somebody gave me, like, if in high school, I mean, I'm done with high school, but, like, if in high school or in a college class, if I were to get a fucking worksheet like that in fucking math, like, and that was like a summative, I'd be fucking jumping up and down with excitement. If it didn't get graded, though, I probably would be like, fuck this, and just not do it. But that was me with everything that didn't get graded in high school. Yeah, let's read chat. You got it in any fights? Oh, God. Yep, I did. Most of them were broken up by, like, adults. So I don't remember what my first fight would have been. It's probably something before that I don't even fucking remember anymore. I know that I got into, like, a few physical altercations in elementary school, but, like, nobody won or lost any of those fights because it was, like, in front of the teachers, and the teachers would, like, just, like, split you apart in, like, 10 seconds. So I think the first fight that that, like, was genuinely, like, relevant and, like, I admit, okay, in 6th grade, I lost my first fight, like, genuinely lost, but it was only because the dude was a 7th grader, okay, and he was talking mad shit about me, right, like, dude was talking mad shit, I'm pretty sure he just ended up becoming, like, a fucking incel. I don't know what he's doing now, but he definitely, like, he gave off incel vibes. So I guess at one point I got beat up by either an incel or a prospective incel. Like, so he was talking mad shit, and I was talking shit back, and then he did, like, something that was, like, physically kind of aggressive. I don't know, like, he nudged me or something, and then I did something slightly more aggressive back, and then it ended up becoming like a full-on fucking fight. And then it was like, I ended up getting like a black eye and shit. But yeah, that dude was a fucking psychopath. He was bigger than me. He was a 7th grader. I was a measly little prepubescent 6th grader. Like, what the fuck was I gonna do? The second fight that's worth noting, I actually won. Surprisingly enough. Yeah, there was, in the second half of 6th grade, right, there was this one kid who just bullied the shit out of me, right? Called me all sorts of mean names. I don't even remember what they were, because I probably repressed those memories. And I think he bullied me a little bit in, like, the beginning of 7th grade, too. But then I started to, like, change. Like, this is when I really started to, like, change and become, like, really, like, fucking, like, cold. Compared to how I used to be. Like, I used to be, like, a very emotional person. But then I started to become, like, really fucking cold, towards people I didn't like. Like, not just angry like I used to be, not just, like, on the verge of tears or whatever, but, like, genuinely cold. So, I ended up, I don't know if this is, like, a good thing to promote or not, and be like, yeah, I would still do this today, probably, yeah, I ended up, like, because I ended up beginning, literally, I just, in many regards, I just stopped caring about the fact that, like, people, like, hated me for no reason, and that people, like, made fun of me. And then I just became, like, a dick. I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun, I guess. And then suddenly people started liking me. Like, I don't understand, like, and it's not like this, like, in elementary school or high school or college or anywhere else. Literally only in middle school will being an asshole, be a good thing, okay? And it's, like, this very backwards thing. But, on the bright side, I was an asshole to people that deserved it. And the person I described earlier, who bullied the shit out of me, just so happens to be one of them. So I just ended up, like, bullying the shit out of him back. I can't go too specific into details, because on the off chance that, like, you know, I don't know, like, if somebody that, like, knows me in person, who also knows them, ever sees this, like, I don't want to, like, you know, like, yeah, I ended up, convincing his friends that he hated them, and I didn't have to do much, because he was, like, a two-faced motherfucker kind of person. He would just talk shit about everybody, right? So all I had to do was, like, show everybody else, like, yo, by the way, this dude is a fucking retard, okay? And then I just, like, made fun of him, and made it, like, I made it, like, uncool to be friends with him, and I would make fun of people that were friends with him, that, after a certain point. I'm like, why the fuck are you still friends with this dude? Like, what is wrong with you? The dude's a fucking loser degenerate. Like, come on. Like, just fucking look at him. Like, dude has fucking, like, the dude is, like, mentally insane. Like, come on. Like, he is cognitively not even aware, I'll bet. Like, and he doesn't even care about you as a friend. So I ended up basically, convincing him that his friends hated him, convincing his friends that he hated them, and then, basically he lost, like, pretty much all of his friends, and part of the reason was, like, I didn't even have to do that much, because he treated his friends like shit. Like, especially, like, the friends that were, like, nice to him. Like, there was this one dude, like, very sweet kid, who got bullied a little bit, and he was friends with this guy, And this dude fucking treated him like absolute shit. And he was one of the, like, the last people to stop being friends with him at the time. And then there was one time, and then after that, and I was walking home on the way home from school when this dude decided not to be friends with him. So I was there, like, laughing about it. And then so, like, we all walked home, but, this other dude, the nice kid, like, went a different way earlier than me and the guy who used to bully me went. And I was basically just like, I was like, haha, like, you don't even have any fucking friends anymore, dumb bitch. That was, like, your last one. How does it feel, dumbass? And being like, yeah, you're a fucking loser. Like, look at how pathetic you are. And then he, like, attacked me and, like, started, like, swinging his lunchbox at me. And then I started swinging back. I just started, like, I only punched him, like, a few times. And then I grabbed his glasses. And then I, like, snapped them, threw them onto the cement, and stomped on them. And then, he was scared of me after that. So then I just kept, like, verbally, like, making fun of him and calling him a bitch, like, until, like, we went our own separate ways. And he was, like, trying so hard not to cry. It was really funny. I don't even feel bad about it today. I mean, the dude was a fucking awful person. I don't know if, maybe he's a nice person now. I don't know. I'm sure he was going through some shit, maybe. Best case scenario. Dude seemed like he was, like, fucking sociopathic, though. Like, he was a bad person at the time. I guess at one point I was as well. Yeah, so that was, like, the one time I won a fight, I guess. Because he wasn't very, like, we were both, like, I guess at the time we were both, like, average-sized. For, like, no, he was skinny. And I was, like, average for, like, a 7th grader. Because I was, like, because I think I hit puberty, like, a little bit before, like, the majority of people. But I ended up going through puberty really slow. It was weird, so, like, I ended up, becoming, like, a lot taller than some people, but, like, only temporarily. And then, like, they became, like, a whole fucking mess. I'm not very tall now, so, it was short-lived, because I'm still 5'6". I was, like, whatever, like, probably, like, 5'4" or 5'5" at the time. So, back then, that's, like, normal. Maybe even tall. Who knows? But I was, like, 50th percentile or something, in terms of height. Or something like that. And I was, like, a strong kid at the time, too, because I was a swimmer. So, I guess it makes sense. So devious. Yeah. Yep, it'd be like that. Like, I know I don't have that energy anymore. I lost it to time. Because I haven't, like, felt the need to be, like, physically violent in ages. So I guess, like, if you don't practice that as a skill, I guess you become not very good at that anymore. I don't know. But, either way. I'm streaming, by the way. Okay. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, before I got interrupted, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Something along the lines of, like, I guess because it's not really a skill I had to use, I just don't have it anymore. Like, I mean, look at the way I... Haha, short boy, shut up. Okay, I'm, like, taller than the average woman, okay? Yeah. Yeah, so that means, because I'm taller than the average woman, wait, that wouldn't mean that, well, that still wouldn't mean that I'm, like, above average in height for a human. Shit. Wait. So if 5'3" is the average woman, and I'm 5'6", so 3 inches taller than the average woman. I think 5'3" is the average woman, or is it 5'4"? I'm gonna say 5'3", because it proves my point better, okay? And what is the average guy? Is it 5'10", 5'9", maybe? Okay, well, shit, I'm not above average in terms of height for the average human. Well, okay, I'm gonna... Or maybe it's 5'8". I don't know. If it's 5'8", then I'm technically above average for every single human being on the planet. Yeah, checkmate. I'm actually quite tall, I'll have you find. But yeah, no, I would not win a fight anymore, I don't think. Even with, like, the one kid that I won a fight in a while ago in 7th grade, he, you know, I'm sure he's probably a lot taller than me now, even though he was shorter than me back then. He's probably bigger than I am. Like everybody else, like, fucking, kept, like, getting larger and taller, but I didn't. I sort of, like, stagnated, so, that sucks, I guess. Oh, well. I guess I'll have to be a cute femboy for the rest of my life. God, the horror. Oh, no. But yeah, like, I don't think anyone who dresses like this would even consider the shit. I'm sorry, this is a fucking wobbly chair. And anyone who wears this is not gonna even attempt to fight. Because, like, I'm not very strong anymore. Like, I don't, like, cause, like, I'm not even a swimmer anymore, so, yeah. But anyways, that's gonna just about wrap up today's epic live stream. How long have we been streaming for? I don't know, man. Probably a while. I don't know. I want to say, like, oh, I've been live for, like, almost 2.5 hours. That's a decent length of time, don't you think? I think so. But that's gonna do it for today's video, folks. If you're watching this as, like, an unlisted... Oh, looks like someone's in chat. What you were saying earlier about liking feminine shows, but kinda hiding it was interesting. Mainly because I did the same thing, because, some of my parents banned them from me. Yeah, thankfully my parents have, like, always had, like, common sense with that type of stuff. The reason I was embarrassed about it was not because of, like, parents, it was more, like, because, like, I felt like I was gonna get made fun of by my peers for that. I don't know if I would have in elementary school. In middle school, I definitely would have, because I already got bullied without that being known. So, yeah. That probably would have been, like, the only thing people would be... I would have gotten canceled in middle school, okay? If people had found out about that back then, I would have been fucking canceled in 8th grade, okay? Yeah. Because I was, like, actually kind of cool in 8th grade. Yeah, ooh, wow. Not really. I was still a fucking nerd. But I was just, like, also an asshole, so, like, people sort of respected that for some reason. And then people disliked me when I kept doing it. So then I stopped, and then people started liking me again. So, yeah. It's like that, okay? It's just like that. But yeah, I know, I feel like that does resonate with a lot of people. Like, the whole concept of just, of repression and feeling pressured by society to, like, hide certain stuff about yourself, even though it's, like, completely, like, inconsequential and innocuous. Is that how you use the word innocuous? I don't know. I'll assume it is. I'm trying to sound smart. Okay, whatever. Fucking... I do that sometimes. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the live stream or /podcast/ whatever. I know that there's going to be some people that listen to this as a podcast, maybe. Probably not, though, because in the beginning, the audio quality was all fucky, okay? Yeah, I like the word fucky a lot. It's my favorite word. Yeah, the audio quality was fucky. But now I'm losing my voice. I don't even know if you can hear that. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this live stream /podcast/ unlisted whatever, or past lives, whatever. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment if this is, yeah, whatever. Watch my other stuff. I'm more entertaining when I can edit, okay? Because my editing improves the content, believe it or not. And I don't have technical difficulties. So yeah. Goodbye, everybody. See ya. If anyone in chat wants to say one last thing, now's your opportunity. I'm gonna move this so that I can make sure that, yeah. No, stop it. Okay. Do I? Okay. Okay, there's still a couple people watching, so. Alright, last chance to say anything in chat. Now's your opportunity. Oh, wow, this stream is really delayed, huh? Wow. Oh, wow, it's still... Okay. Still going. I'm still going. Have I... Finally, holy shit. Oh my god. Finally, I lean over. That's how I know that I had just... Now you guys have seen me saying if you have anything else to say in chat. If not, that is a-okay. But y'all are seeing this way after you see the... You know what? Okay, I'm... Haha, keep this up, Atheist King. Hell yeah. I am the Atheist King, aren't I? Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have, like, the best... I mean, I'm good at debate. I wouldn't consider myself to be the king at it. Or king of it. The only reason I win every debate is because I haven't, actually debated anyone who's, like, a professional debater or who does it regularly, I don't think. Or as regularly as I'm willing to. Well, I don't know. I haven't engaged in like, an actual debate with anyone who's, like, a worthy opponent, I guess. I don't know. That sounds fucking egotistical. But, like, what I mean by that is not, are they, like, subhuman and not worthy of arguing with me? What I mean by that is their rhetorical approach, like, at least, like, the same caliber as mine, right? Because ultimately that's a big part of debate. Winning debate doesn't even require being correct. It just requires having a better rhetorical approach, than your opponent, and it really helps if you just so happen to be right. Because it's a lot easier to, because it's like, well, if the opponent inevitably, like, proves something wrong, then, well, you're fucked, kind of.